I'm very happy that Black History Month is a thing, but I feel like it has become a bit of a novelty, and I feel like it's time to integrate it into history, because Black history is history, period.
Welcome back to Series 3 of the Student Connect podcast.
Hi, I'm Danny, a third-year sports student currently studying PE and youth sport coaching, and today I'm joined by a very special co-host, Nunika.
Hi, my name is Nunika. I'm a final year fashion student at Staffs.
So this podcast is created in association with Staffordshire University and is hosted by our student content creator team.
Usually there's Tiff on my seat, but she's got some course commitments and I'm just filling in for her today.
In this series, we are exploring different cultures to grow and deepen our knowledge about the diverse backgrounds that make up our community.
We want you to help shape the series. So if you'd like to join us as a guest, please email us on comms@staffs.ac.uk or DM us on social media at staffsuni.
Along the way through the series, we'll endeavour to share our honest, although sometimes too honest stories to help educate and discover more about other cultures.
There may be some sensitive topics discussed. We feel these are important to share to raise awareness of issues.
If at any point we do use any incorrect terminology, please rest assured that this is a part of us educating ourselves, and we do not intend to cause any offence at all.
So without further ado, let's get started.
So, Nunika, welcome to the Student Connect podcast.
Thank you so very much.
Glad to have you here. So tell us about yourself, your course, what do you do?
So I am a fashion student, also a student content creator.
Lovely,
Have just come back from a placement here in London.
And how was London?
It was exciting. Thrilling.
Cool. Was that on the Staffs Uni campus down there?
No, not really. It was just working with like a business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Does bridal stuff. It was really cool. It was
Is
high
that
pressure.
Like what you're looking to go into?
I'm looking to go into more into the design side of things.
Oh, okay.
And I was working more in admin, but it was still quite interesting.
Yeah,
it's good to see how the business unfolds, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. Big difference from Stoke.
Yeah. What's the main difference, would you say?
No one really says hi if you go on the tube in London.
No way up ducks on the tube. No way up ducks on the tube.
It's sad. It's really, really sad. No one really knows everyone.
Was it kind of like a shock when like just some random person would be like, "Hi, you okay?" Just like dead random. Have you had an experience of that?
Yeah. First year of uni, because I'm an international student. So first year of uni, I came back and I had the biggest shock of my life when someone called me Duck as well, because it was just I turned back around and I was like,
most people don't know how to react. They're like,
someone
what?
Just call me Duck. And my friend behind me was just like, yeah, it's a Stoke thing. You'll get used to it. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, it's meant to be sweet. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Don't worry, it's a good thing. How's the course going? Is third year, did you say now?
Yeah, final year, stressful. Oof. Deadlines all around, but at the same point of time, it's very independent.
Oh, okay.
So it's more I am setting the deadlines for myself, so it's a bit more challenging, I think, in that aspect. But I think it gets exciting. Yeah. But how's your course?
It's going all right, to be fair. I don't have any qualms.
Yeah.
10,000 word dissertation. See, everyone's like that. But if you think about it, to me, because I'm so used to like reading literature. I'm a loser. Joking, reading literature is not being a loser. That. It's good. No, I'm joking. I encourage you to read literature. I actually would prefer to have more of a word count.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can go 10% over, but So I've got that. I've got a podcast to record as a form of assessment. So I think I'm winning there. Yeah. And then what was the other one? Oh, a presentation. And if you know me, I'm very good at speaking to a load of random different people. Good. So I'm laughing in it. I'm loving it.
You're getting there.
But yeah, no, it's going good. I'm only in 1 day a week. I think I did mention that on my last episode. So it's a very weird 6-day weekend.
Yeah. Well, you're working in the weekends.
Well, so. Yeah. So I'm trying to find stuff to do here and there.
Yeah.
But it is going okay. It's a long 1 day though, I'll grant you, because obviously. I go gym before uni, so that's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I don't finish till 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So, technically the evening's not in the afternoon.
That is some hours.
Although next week I've got the opportunity to deliver a lecture.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool.
I know. So obviously I want to go into teaching, don't I? And I've got a very fortunate opportunity to deliver a lecture.
What are you talking about?
So that'll be with sport, and we're kind of talking about different teaching approaches.
Yeah.
And then, so we're delivering that for an hour, and then I get to deliver a volleyball session.
Okay.
Practical after. Not very good at volleyball, but it's not about how good you are at it, it's how good you can coach it.
Yeah.
So like, then that's one thing that I've learned recently is that like being like a coach or a teacher, it's not as much how much you know and how good you are at it. It's more so how you can do it, and how you can coach it. So today we are here at the Potteries Art and Gallery Museum in Hanley, and we are in the Spitfire exhibit. And as you can see here, we've got this beautiful plane. It is the RW388 model. Can't believe I remember that off the top of my head. Cool. I love the Spitfire, and was created by Sir Reginald Mitchell, who was a resident Stokey.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So just to shed a little bit of light, as we are in an open location, it's just a little bit loud, and we do apologize, but it's just because the venue is open for public and people are viewing the exhibition. But to talk a little bit more about Mitchell.
Yes.
So Mitchell was born and educated in North Staffordshire. He designed 24 different aeroplanes during his career, including flying boats, high-speed racing seaplanes, and the submarine Spitfire.
And obviously that's what we have on show here today. And this is also a hint at our guest for today's podcast.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's introduce our special guest. Okay, and today our special guest we are joined with is Nokwanda. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm Nokwanda Suni, a third-year aeronautical engineering student at Staffordshire University, and I'm excited to talk about Black culture, being a Black woman in the UK.
So you're an aeronautical engineering student,
yes,
which sounds a lot cooler than my degree, I must add. So we'll come back to that in a bit more detail later. So you were born in Zambia, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But you moved to the UK at a young age. Can you just share some like insights into your family and like the journey from Zambia to the UK and what that was like for you?
Yeah, so I moved here when I was 5, and I was old enough to understand Zambian culture and be within it and experience it, but like young enough to assimilate into UK culture. And I feel like, my dad moved here as an accountant, and it really taught me to embrace change and see life from different perspectives, like the Zambian culture and the British culture, and work hard for what you want, and just try different things.
What's like the Zambian culture like? Just tell us a bit about that.
It's very
different
community,
to like UK culture,
I think so, in the sense that it's community driven. So like everyone knows everyone, and like for example, my mom's friends are seen as my uncles and aunties, and their kids are like my cousins. I guess that is similar in some places, but it's not.
We were on about that in the last episode with Sharifa, how like and Tiff was mentioning it as well, that like when you have like your parents' friends, you'll sometimes call them uncle or auntie, like if you're like really close.
Exactly. It's very community driven. Like, it's expected for other adults to care for you even though they're not your child. You're not their child. And very like funny. We embrace humor and like joking, and we're very chatty people as well. We like to talk and entertain ourselves and stuff like that. Dancing is a big part of our culture too.
Nice, good.
So you moved to the UK when you were relatively young. So what's it been like growing up in British culture?
It's been very interesting. Like, I've learned a lot in terms of like growing up in primary school. I've tried different foods from here. I don't know, British culture is very, it's not subtle, but like there's things like, for example, nursery rhymes that I didn't know. So I'd come here and I'd learn them and pick them up. And then like different like facts and the music as well. Learning about like the royal family, stuff like that. It was very interesting, I would say.
Of course.
That's good. So the actual move to the UK, how did you find that, and like I suppose like settling in? How did you find that process?
I would say it wasn't too bad. I was really young, so I didn't really see it the way my parents probably saw it. So for me, it was like coming from Zambia to here was relatively easy, but settling down, it was alright as well. I came with my dad and my mom and my sisters, and we just kind of adjusted well, I would say.
That's good. Whereabouts in the UK did you move to initially?
First, Maidenhead, which is just outside London. And then we moved to Chafford 100, Essex, and then we moved to Grays. I think we moved to Grays first, actually, and then Chafford 100, and then back to Grays. We did a bit of like moving around, but it was
so like a lot nice. Like down south.
A lot down south.
Yeah, that's nice.
So what would you say? What would you say like your favourite part about obviously like 'cause obviously coming? Do you like travel into Stoke, or do you live in Stoke for accommodation?
For accommodation,
So what would you say one of the differences like obviously like south, in like obviously like, Midlands, but northern England, what would you say like the differences are, have you noticed?
I'd probably say London and Essex, there's a bit of like a rush, like people are trying to go somewhere, like it's very busy and there's a lot going on, whereas here it's more calm, people are like more leisurely and I'll probably say more friendly and like neighbourly than down south. That's what I'd probably say.
Stokies are very, very friendly.
Everyone in the Midlands, I would say, it's really good.
So at the time of filming, it's Black History Month. Does this resonate with you, and what do you think the importance of it is today?
It does resonate with me, and like I'm very happy that Black History Month is a thing, but I feel like it has become a bit of a novelty, and I feel like it's time to integrate it into history, because Black history is history, like period. It's not its separate thing. And there's like a lot of people think that there's not a lot of Black history, but there is. And I feel like it's time for it to be appreciated for what it is, which is history.
I think like looking back at like my own GCSE history lessons, a lot of it's like kings and queens and like who won this battle and like when you like look at it from like a race perspective, a lot of it's like very like white, isn't it? And there's not a lot covered about us like, you know, like Black history.
Exactly.
Like, it does need to change so that, you know, for someone like me, I can get educated on that Black history. And like, obviously people like, you know, similar, like obviously like white people, we can get educated on that.
And education is very important for people to like understand where we come from and why we are the way we are.
Definitely.
How would you suggest someone to get educated about Black history?
I'd probably say research and like talking to people. People are really open to speaking about where they come from, and there's a lot on YouTube as well to see, like have actual locals talk about where like their beliefs and their traditions and just aspects about themselves and like even like folk tales as well, you can learn about them on YouTube and stuff like that, and those it's interesting as well, because we learn about like Greek mythology and other English mythology, but we don't really learn about African folktales.
That's really interesting.
So as a young Black woman, what role do you think education and awareness play in addressing like racial inequalities?
I think it plays a massive role. Like I remember I did IB, psychology, and it was, which is the International Baccalaureate. It's similar to A-levels. And there was like statistics and studies done on like how the inequalities are towards Black people. So for example, in mental health institutes, Black people are less likely to come forward and say, I have this. But then when they do, they have more invasive treatment done towards them. Rather than being referred to talking therapy, they have like more invasive treatment done on them. And I think here, like understanding that, and even like it stems from people thinking that Black people don't feel pain as much as like other races do, and we do. We're human beings. So learning about that and teaching that will help people understand that we do feel pain and we're not strong. We're not like we have weaknesses basically.
Definitely.
And there's even like studies done on like how Black women are more likely to die in maternity, like when giving birth, because they're not listened to. Like they'll say that I'm in pain, but they won't be. Though people think that they're strong enough to bear it. Exactly. So I learned about that. Even I didn't know about that. So learning about that taught me that I should always stand up for myself in hospitals. If I feel pain, I should let them know and insist that I should get medication.
But it's crazy that you have to do that in the first place. Like that just shows that it's still a problem because you know it shouldn't be that you have to explain and get it across more than someone else that you are feeling pain. One thing for me, like when I was doing A-level sociology, that massively opened up my eyes about educating myself, because not only do you talk about like in like gender roles and stuff like that, but there is a lot on race, and like taking that. My teacher was brilliant. It made me realise just how uneducated I was, and I think it's important to know that it's okay if you were uneducated, but then accept that you want to then get educated.
I feel like that's the best way to approach it.
That like instead of being like, oh well, I've always been like that, so there's no point me changing, but instead take from a perspective of okay, well, how I thought was wrong, how can I change it in a way that it's not going to be
wrong,
like that? I mean, I love sociology anyway.
It's really good. Even psychology is really good.
It's sort of like interlinked as well.
They do.
It does, So what would you say a typical evening of entertainment for you would be like?
Okay, first I like game a bit, so I play Sims 4 on my laptop, or like I'll play on my Switch.
Yeah.
And then
What Switch games?
Okay, at the minute I don't have that many. I just got it.
Yeah, but like what
what have you been playing now?
Okay, like action, adventure.
Yeah.
Like I want to get Hogwarts Legacy on it.
Yeah.
I have it on the PlayStation, but I want to play like on the go and stuff. And then I would like watch a TV show or like a movie. At the minute I'm watching You.
Yeah.
Whereabouts
are you?
I've just started season 3.
Just started.
Okay,
season 3.
Don't spoil it for me. It's really good. Yeah. And then I'll like read a book. I'm reading a book called A Pen Dipped in Paper, and it's about like teachers. It's a murder mystery about like teachers.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's really good though.
I wish I read more. I think I should read more. I feel I always make myself feel dead guilty about this. Like I should read some more.
Yeah,
and like I just my attention span's ruined. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not there, and it's really annoying because obviously, like especially reading, like you're getting like exposed to different perspectives and how people see things, and also like when you read a book, you might see it differently to how someone else reads a book, and like you developing your. But no, I need to work on my attention span because it's absolutely rubbish. So getting back onto the topic of Black British culture, and what would you say was one of the best things about that?
I'll probably say, and I realized this a few days ago, is that it's within itself, it's like a melting pot. So in Zambia, I probably wouldn't have met as many Nigerians or Ghanaians or Ivorians or Caribbean people as I would here. So like I get to see life from their perspective too, and hear how they view Africa, how they view their countries, and hear about their like leaders and historical figures. And like I also get to try their food. Like I tried Caribbean food the other day, specifically Jamaican food, and it's really nice. It's nice to like mix cultures and see things from a different view. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. So would you say there's quite a big emphasis on like integration and
integration,
learning different? That's good. That is.
Unity
that's
as
really
well.
Good. Yeah, I like
What stereotypes would you say people from your culture would face?
I guess people see us as like lazy, uncivilized, poor a lot of the time, especially from an African perspective, aggressive, which is obviously not true. But people do see us like that, and that's why I strongly suggest people speak to us and like hear it from our perspective and like learn our history as well, because we're not just lazy, we're not uncivilized, stuff like that.
Do you think, or do you feel that people still kind of reinforce them stereotypes even today?
I feel like they do.
Yeah.
Wait, do you mean like people still view us that way?
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
I feel like they do. It's less now, but it's less now for Black British people, but for Africans, people do still see us in like a really negative light. Yeah. And I feel like that should change because it's not really fair on us.
Quite a really negative connotation.
Exactly.
Yeah, like before they even met you, just
exactly.
Like, whoa, hold on, like, it's not.
That's a bit challenging because they're not really willing to understand you. It's just a bit more. Like it's done. Like they already come in with made up opinions, so it's challenging.
I think it's important. That's why you have them conversations. Like you might say something that's out of tone, but that's when then you've got a perfect opportunity to them educate them straight away. And say, "Well, hold on," and that's like the beauty of them conversations and communication you have with people.
And I think that's why we value education so much, because we want to try and show people that we're not uneducated, that we're not uncivilized. We want to be like the top and achieve high. Yeah,
that's good.
So what customs and etiquettes are important to the culture?
Specifically to Zambia, respect is very important. Like even in our languages, we have multiple languages. The way you address an adult is different, or someone older than you or someone you don't know is different to how you would address your friend or someone younger than you. And like sometimes when we greet, we'll like kneel. Like, someone older than you would like kneel down and like pay respect to them because like our elders are very important to us. So just respect, manners, saying please and thank you, obviously. Greeting, like when you enter a room, you have to greet every single person. You can't just say hi.
Just walk in.
Exactly. You have to say hi to everyone, especially if they're older than you. Like introduce yourself. Nokwanda, and then my mom's name, daughter. That type.
How would you say that like is different in terms of like obviously like British culture or Black British culture? Would you say there's any similarities or differences with that?
I would say it depends on the context, because I feel like in church you expect to say hi to like everyone, But like when you probably enter like a Black British household, I feel like you just like say hi generally.
Yeah.
But like in Zambia, you're expected to like say hi to everyone and like kneel down to like the elders and like say like thank you for coming, give them like food, offer them water and stuff like that. Yeah, I would say it's similar-ish, but less like not extreme, but like less, I don't know how to explain it. More informal. Yeah, I'll probably say it's more informal.
Yeah. That's really, really cool because I speak Hindi, like that's my first language, and I've been teaching it to my flatmate these days. Yeah. And I say a sentence, and then every time I say, oh, but that's the formal version of saying it. So if you're saying it to someone older, you say it like that. But then if you're saying it to me, you probably wouldn't say it like that.
It's the same thing.
So it's a bit of a contrast.
I like that, because even in, I guess, that's really good though.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Nunika, but how do I word this? Like, so you're an international student.
Yeah.
Where did you move from? If that's the correct way of me saying that. I don't mean that like a...
No. So I've lived in Delhi, India my whole life.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I moved here just for education.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a journey in that aspect. Yeah. So I really relate to international students and people who've not originally lived in the UK just because they've got that little bit more experience that I have in terms of relating to each other. So like it's very similar because someone who's been here all their life, and no harm for saying you've been here all your life, that's amazing.
No, that's me, that's literally me, yeah, go on.
But it's just because when you move away from family, you can't just take the next train home and just say, I'm going to see my family for the weekend. The flight's about 9 hours, it's going to be about a while.
So that's crazy because like with me, obviously, like I'm literally studying at the university that's in my hometown. I couldn't imagine like doing what like you've done, where you moved to that whole different country.
It's more challenging, but it gets easier.
I can imagine it's creating like amazing life experiences though, because it's something that's probably different to what you'd probably experience normally like back home.
It's really
I should try it.
You really should.
I should get myself out there. Just go to a random country.
Where would you go? Do you know?
That's a good question.
That's a fantastic question actually. See, I think I'd say like Germany. I love Germany. I love German football. I like reading about like the German culture, stuff like that. But I think like even that, I don't think that's like broad enough. I think I should go even further than that, you know?
But why do you have to go even further than that? It could be just Germany.
Yeah, I know, but I think that's a bit boring. I think I should like expand it even more, you know? But yeah, probably Germany. Or like even like a Scandinavian country, so like Denmark, Iceland, Norway, that way. Probably Norway,
gonna be freezing.
I like I'm in shorts.
Okay, I was gonna
and it's October. You know what I mean? I like the cold. That's why I want to go to Germany, because it's cold. No, I don't think I'd last in a hot country. No, I don't like it.
Yeah, no,
I hate the heat.
It's really hot back home.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah,
I do. The weather's nice. Like you can wear what you want. Like you don't have to worry about a coat or like a rain, an umbrella.
Yeah.
Just go.
That's the one problem with cold. You have to take a coat everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. And an umbrella in your bag at all times.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're just not struggling with it. You're just like, I'll go out and I'll see how it is.
Cool.
Okay, the other thing I'm really, really fascinated by is Nokwanda's name.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about your name?
So my name is Ngoni, which is my mom's tribe. The Ngoni, they migrated from South Africa into the eastern part of Zambia. So my name means abundance, or like plenty of, or like growing, basically. The naming culture in Zambia is the oldest child will have a name from the father's side, and then the second born from the mother's, and then the third from the father again, and then the fourth from the mother. So it alternates like that. And then like you can call in your elders, like my grandparents will come and help my mom choose a name, or aunts and uncles will come and help choose a name. That's from like Ngoni culture. Yeah.
I love that. I like you've got such like meaning behind you. You know my name? You know who I was named after? I was just named after a footballer.
Really?
That's how much thought came into it. Like, I don't know how my mum let my dad get away with that either. My dad was just like, I want to name him after this footballer, and he was called Danny Murphy, and he used to play for Liverpool. He was really good. And my mum was just obviously like, yeah, okay. And it's like,
what you want.
Yeah. But no, I love that you've got. There's so much like thought and meaning, and I suppose like quite a lot of heritage surrounding that as well, because how it's probably been done for generations. Is that the case?
Yeah, oftentimes you'll be named after like a grandparent or an uncle, just to like, because they mean so much to you. So like my youngest sister is named after my grandmother. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's really, really nice. Yeah, I love that.
So you mentioned that you attend church, was it?
Yeah.
Just a few conversations ago, yeah. So is that an important part of your life? And if so, what religion do people practice most often, like especially from Zambia?
In Zambia, we're mostly a Christian nation, so Christianity. There's obviously different types: Protestant, Catholic, and Seventh Day, stuff like that. We do practice it a lot, and it's a very important part of our culture because people like to. Christianity is a lot about hope, praying for the future and praying for your family, blessing your family, stuff like that. I think we like the ideology of loving your neighbor and putting peace out into the world and putting good energy out into the world. I think it's a very important part of African culture as a whole.
As I went to a Christian high school, St. Peter's in Fenton, and from what I gained, because is it agnostic, where you think there's a God but you're not sure which one? Is it that one? I think it's that. It's something like that.
Yeah, no, that is the one.
Yeah. And when I was obviously learning about it, a lot of it was if you put hope into God, that He'll do
things for you.
He'll do things for you in return if you're giving Him His faith. It's
asking you.
And that's what I found most interesting about it, because it makes sense in a way that if you do. You don't sin, and you do put that faith into Him, that good things will return, that good karma kind of thing in a way.
How would you say your religion today plays into your daily life?
Probably being kind, obviously, rather than going towards violence, calming down and talking to people, hearing them, rather than judging. I don't like to judge as well, because it says in our religion, you shouldn't judge people. You should try and understand people, even though they're different from you.
Of course.
Try to talk to them, understand them, forgive people. Just keep moving forward rather than holding on to the past and holding on to pain, and just keep moving forward.
That's a really good way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's a really good way to look at it.
Take that into my life. I like that. I really like that. So what kind of, how do you express your cultural identity?
So, like Nunika said, I talk to my friends in my language. They won't even know what I'm saying, but I'll just say it in my language anyway. Even just to practice, because I'm trying to learn more about my culture and my language. And sometimes they'll ask me back, oh, what does that mean? And then they'll say it back to me, and they'll use it in sentences. So that's what I like to do. And then this is really simple, but on social media I have my flag on my my name on my bio, just to show people that I'm Zambian.
Of course.
What else do I do? Listening to music as well. Dancing.
Really
singing all types of songs. I like to listen to Zambian Christian songs.
That's interesting. You need to introduce me to some.
Sure, I will. Just stuff like that.
Is that the Zambia flag? Is it green?
Yeah,
with a bird,
eagle.
The eagle. That's it. At the top left.
And then we have
my flags. I know my flags.
That's really good.
So, is there anything unique or special about your culture that most people probably don't know?
I would say maybe our humor. For example, I talked about tribes. My mom is in Ngoni, so there's this thing called tribal cousins, where there's another tribe that you can banter with and make as much fun of, and nothing happens. There's no violence or nothing. It's just pure banter. And you can laugh at each other, joke around with each other. And then, for example, if someone in my mom's family were to die, as in Ngoni, her tribal cousin is the Bemba people. They would come and they would pour baby powder on them and like joke around during the funeral. And I know it's crazy, but it's to like lighten up the mood.
I like that.
And then like try and help the family move past it.
Yeah.
And then what they'll also do is like cook and clean and like give them money so that they can mourn peacefully rather than
worrying
thinking
about
exactly about cooking, cleaning and finances. So yeah, there's this like banter but also like respect towards each other throughout like the whole country, I would say.
Yeah, I love that. It's sort of like helping everyone just get out of the situation, just move
And
past
like
it.
a real
Get
emphasis on
along.
family as well, like being a collective. Community, definitely.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
So is there anything about your culture that you possibly find like challenging?
I would probably have to say our views towards like mental health, especially like in African culture. I don't know why the older generation doesn't like to accept that you can have mental health issues. I think it's sometimes they feel like it's their fault and like they put blame on themselves. So rather than addressing it, they'll dismiss it and they'll like prevent you from getting care and just say like just pray or like just move from it. So like I would probably have to say we should really try and address like the stigma towards mental health. But I would say that our generation is starting to like heal and like ask for help in terms of mental health. That's and really like good, changing our perspective, like the older people's perspectives on how to deal with mental health, rather than just praying. You can actually get treatment and you can talk to people, stuff like that.
That's good though, because obviously if like you say your generation have been more accepting mental health, when you then eventually become that older generation, you can then pass that down. So already you're making that change, which obviously is vital with how impactful mental health can be nowadays. That will have such an impact that you're being open and you're wanting to like listen to people's mental health and stuff like that. It's really good.
I agree. I always have this thing where I tell people when they're like, oh, my parents don't really understand and whatever, and I'm trying to make a change. And I'm just like, but you need to understand that if they've lived for 40 years on earth, they've been through 40 years of conditioning. And you can't change that in 5 days.
Yeah, definitely.
So you need to give them time. You've been here 20 years, out of which you were molding your life for about 5. So give them time to change, give them time to evolve. They'll come around, but you need to wait.
It's not something that happens overnight.
You can't just force it on them.
Exactly. It's just constant conversation, trying to get them to understand, and then hopefully it will click in their head, and then they'll understand.
So what do you think is something that's unique about your culture that you want to share with everyone?
I'd probably say maybe like our dances and our languages. There's this dance that the Bembas do with their hips. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like really pretty and like fascinating, and I really want to learn about it, and I really like to show people like it's challenging. That's the thing, to do it. So I like to show people, like I'll show them videos about it, and then they'll like be like, oh my gosh, that's actually a really nice dance. Yeah, exactly. And then like our cultural dress as well is quite different as well. I'll probably just say.
What does the cultural dress look like?
Okay, so for my dad's side, it's more like dresses. So we wear a musisi, that's what it's called. And it's like a dress with patterns, and then I don't know how to really describe it. It's kind of like, I don't really know, but like it's a dress. And then for my mom's side, it's more, I don't know if you've seen like Shaka Zulu. No. Have you seen Shaka Zulu? No? Like what they wear?
What's the film?
Like the animal print and the shield and the spear. That type of stuff. It's different. Like it depends on your tribe. There'll be different dress for each tribe.
I'm really fascinated that you said there's a different one for your dad's side and a different one for your mom's side. That's really cool, because I haven't ever heard that before. Really? Like there's different, because
I mean it's very varying. Like depends where you go in the region as well, and like the tribes. Some people it's just simple like dresses. Other people it's more like different and like fancy. It just depends on where you come from.
Really
Are there like certain like colours or patterns associated with different tribes, and how many tribes are there?
They're like a lot. There's a lot. There's like 72 or something like that.
Wow,
and then even languages, there's like a lot of languages too. Sure. It's not really colours, I would say. It's more to do with the dress that you're wearing. The attire. But I wouldn't say it's colours. There's a lot of different tribes though, and different cultures mixing into one.
So would you say like in terms of like the tribes, like they do like integrate with like everyone, and like that again, that sense of community?
We do integrate. It's not really like people won't really ask you what's your tribe on first meeting. They'll just kind of get to know you. And then it's like sometimes people do bring it up, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's good. So it's not really like a big thing, but it is a big thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's not a priority to name your tribe, and
but it's just
have
important.
It's just important for you to recognize your own tribe. But like, it's a community. We just see people as like Zambians most of the time. Sometimes you do ask, but it's mostly just being seen as a Zambian person, really.
It's really cool. I love that.
I've also got a question about obviously being a black woman. What's one thing that you're most proud of, about being a black woman?
I'd probably say our ability to like bring our community together. I feel like we're usually at the forefront of like starting protests and like family gatherings. Like I'll watch my aunts tell people like, let's have a barbecue, or we call it a braai. Let's have a braai and come together and experience this together. I'd also say that we're very creative and we like come up with a lot of cool things. Very like innovative people and very resourceful as well. Like we take what we have and we put as much out as we can.
That's really nice.
Are there any struggles that you've possibly experienced, or like black women in general experience like struggles?
Obviously, like racism, discrimination and prejudice. Like people see us as aggressive and they emasculate.
I know what you're doing.
Especially from like a young age, we're expected to be like, I don't know what's the word, like independent straight away and like what can I say?
Just strong.
Yeah, like strong, and we have to put up with things. I don't know if you saw a video of this gymnastics like conference. Like all the white girls got medals, and then one of the black girls was skipped. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then it's stuff like that. Like people don't see us. Yeah. Like we try to shout out and say like we're here, but then people don't really see us or acknowledge us. That's, I would sort of say like racism, discrimination, and prejudice is one of the things we.
What would you say success looks like in the British black culture?
I'd probably say from an older generation perspective, it's like getting a good job, being educated, having a house and a family. Yeah. But from a younger generation perspective, it's probably being healthy, like mentally, physically, healing, being grounded and like connected to your roots, doing what you want to be and like being your authentic self. Yeah. As long as it's positive, like just striving for your goals and like working on yourself and then supporting your community obviously as well. Yeah.
I really love that there's this drastic change of the older generation usually materializing it. So just like get a job, get some money, get a house. Mm-hmm. But then the younger ones are always like, oh, but I just want to make sure I'm okay first. And I know who I am and I know what I'm doing. Just living for me.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It shows how much it's changing as well.
Yeah, it does.
And like how it's, I suppose, progressing and moving forward.
Yeah,
it's good that it's going that way.
Yeah,
I want to talk about because we were just on about obviously like struggles that obviously like black people go through. I see it quite a lot from like the sport perspective. So if you look back at like the Euros a few years ago, like when Saka missed and like Rashford, sorry, they missed their penalties. Like just the sheer amount of like racism that got directed towards them. Like it just shows that it's still very apparent and it's still happening. And like don't get me wrong, like a lot has happened and like in terms of like progress and development, but like that alone just shows there's still so much that needs to be done. Yeah.
How would you rate that progress scale? Would you say it's slower, it's faster? Do you think it's actually going somewhere?
It was slow at first, but then it picked up a bit, and then now it's kind of slowed down again. Okay. Especially like when you look at immigration laws changing and stuff like that. So I would say progress is slowing slightly, and even like with what you said about football players facing racism, even like sportswomen face like a lot of racism. So like there's still a lot that can be done, even in terms of like healthcare. Like I said before, people seeing us as feeling less pain and then not giving us the treatment we need. It's still very prominent and there's still a lot that can be done, but like right now we're just trying to spread awareness and like keep on talking about it so that it's not forgotten and change can happen.
Yeah, of course, that sounds lovely. I'm glad you're trying constantly to bring about change, which sounds incredible to me. I think that's very inspiring to everyone to want to bring about change.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's still like, even like now, it baffles my mind that there is like differences and like one scene is better than the other. Like I struggle to comprehend that it's like that and that we're not all seen as the same.
Exactly.
It grinds my gears a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, it really shouldn't.
It's not nice, obviously. So as someone that actively engages in discussions around black identity, what changes would you like to see in terms of societal, obviously, attitudes and perceptions and stuff like that?
I feel like what you said before, being very open to education. I feel like some people, they think that when we talk about this stuff, we're blaming them. Yeah. But we're not. We're just trying to show them that this, like the stuff that happened in the past led to this. This is why this is happening right now, and we're just asking for a change of perspective, so that we can move forward in the future. Education is obviously a very big part of it, and like stuff like this, like allowing me to have a platform to talk about this stuff is something that I would consider change, and it helps us to like address these issues and then come up with solutions and then move forward. So that's what I would say.
And I think also for like people like obviously like me, like white people, we address when someone is speaking out of tone and like they're using, you know, racist dialect and they don't realise it. I would point that out to them and be like, you can't speak like that. You can't say that because it's not right. It's out of order. And I think if someone like me, I'd say I have been educated on it, because before I wasn't educated on it, and that because I've been educated on it, I have a responsibility to tell people when that's right and when it's wrong, and especially when it's wrong not to speak in terms like that, and educate them, educate further.
I agree with that, definitely.
All you're trying to do, I think, when you're doing that is just being sweet to someone and just saying, I think what you're saying is wrong, and you need to just educate yourself slightly with the terms you have been using, or the terms you should probably be using or shouldn't be using. And I think it kind of helps in a way, because the next time let's say if they're doing it out of choice as well, and the next time they use it, they will think about that one time someone pointed it out to them, and they will have it. It'll stick with them, it'll stay in be in their brain.
Definitely. And it's like when, have you ever had an experience where you've pointed it out to someone and they've reacted in a way where it's been like quite negative and also like sort of aggressive? In a way where it's like, well, I don't see anything wrong. Like, have you ever had
definitely. They try to convince you that it's like I'm the problem for not taking it as like a joke. What can I say? Hold on. Like sometimes they'll say it's just a word, or it's just words, like you shouldn't really be affected by that type of stuff. But words do affect people, and especially like the tone that they say it in.
Because there's much more behind it. Yeah, definitely. So obviously at university you are an aeronautical engineering student, which sounds incredible. Please do tell us more about that, kind of what you do and kind of where that course can take you, because that just sounds incredible.
So aeronautical engineering is mostly based on like aircraft, so like anything that flies, really, drones, aircrafts themselves, helicopters, and we're looking more into spacecrafts now in third year. And it's really interesting, and I've always had a passion for it, but I think it was more about having the confidence to pursue it. So for example, I had like educational problems, not problems, but like I was less confident in myself and I didn't believe in my potential. So I had a conversation with one of my physics teachers who was like a woman, and she basically sat me down and was like, you should pursue something in STEM. And she like gave me the confidence to pursue aeronautical engineering, because before that I would like talk to my mom like when I was really, really young, because I would fly back and forth to Zambia. Like on holiday, I would fly to Zambia from England, and then I would like look at the aircrafts, and I was really fascinated by like how they fly and like the engineering behind it. And my mom would tell me facts about it, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, they're the safest mode of transport." And I was like, "Wow, like you don't really learn this type of stuff." And I was like really intrigued by that. So I started watching more documentaries about aircrafts and like how things are made, because of my dad. He used to watch stuff like that, and I was really intrigued. And that really got me into thinking about pursuing engineering. And then my uncle also sat me down and he was like, I think this would be a really good match for you, and you should really try and pursue it. So it was that. But before I had pursued engineering itself, I was looking at the RAF, like joining as a pilot. Exactly. I was really interested in that. But then my sister told me like, it's dangerous, obviously. It's risky. And so I was like, okay, I'll reconsider, because actually, I don't want to.
Maybe something safer.
Maybe something safer. So my uncles actually were like, oh yeah, look into engineering, try apply for that. And I love it. Like I did want to obviously initially be a pilot. I wanted to pursue the pilot side, but engineering has been really eye-opening to me, and I've learned so much, and I wouldn't like trade it. And that's how I started as an aeronautical engineer.
Really, really cool. I love that. I love that little story. I love it when you just don't even know, but someone walks into your life and says, oh you should maybe do that, and they literally change your life.
You sound really passionate about it as well, like, and it's that you're not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like there is a lot of reasoning and emotion behind doing it. I like that, because I think like with something like that, you're going to progress further with it, because from what I can tell there, you have got that passion and want to do it.
Yeah, I really do.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I think that about wraps up our conversation.
Yeah.
So Nokwanda, thank you ever so much for discussing your story and talking about your experiences. We really do appreciate it, and it has such a big impact. You'll have no idea. Thank you to Nunika for standing in for. I'm not thanking myself. Thank you to Nunika for standing in for Tiff. You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
You were absolutely superb.
Tried my best.
Unbelievable.
Thank you to Danny on the other side and Nokwanda for speaking with us.
Thanks for having me, babe.
Of course. Thank you to our listeners on the other side of the camera.
Thank you to the Potteries Museum and Art Gallery for allowing us to host this episode in front of this beautiful exhibit. If you are one of our watchers, please do come down and visit this place. It is incredible.
It is incredible. Thank you to Staffordshire University Media Centre and the podcast producers and podcasting editor.
If you would like to be a guest on our podcast, then please send us a direct on any form of social media.
To find further support at university, you can visit staffs.ac.uk, your Student Connect team.
Don't forget to tell us what you think about the podcast so far, what you'd like to hear on it, and if you have any questions for us, please tag @StaffsUni or hashtag Student Connect Podcast on any form of social media. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.